B-R-O-K-E, broke?
Broke.
Like broke?
Like, no money.
No money.
Yeah.
Like net worth what?
Negative.
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 You look terrific as usual.
Thank you. Thanks, Wayne.
How are you feeling?
I'm a lot better.
Good.
Toni Braxton, the renowned singer, recently opened up about a painful decision, why she had to stop making music. Braxton, famous for hits like Unbreak My Heart, shared her heart-wrenching journey. She disclosed the struggles behind her departure from the music scene, shedding light on the challenges she faced. Braxton's honesty captivated fans worldwide as she bravely revealed the reasons behind her departure. This revelation offers a glimpse into the often unseen pressures of the music industry. Let's delve in. Toni Michelle Braxton came into this world in Severn, Maryland on October 7, 1967. Her dad, Michael Conrad Braxton Sr., worked for the power company and was also a Methodist preacher. Her mom, Evelyn Jackson, originally from South Carolina, had a talent for opera singing and worked as a cosmetologist and a pastor. Even her grandpa on her mom's side was a pastor. Toni is the oldest of 6 siblings. She has a younger brother named Michael Jr. and 4 younger sisters, Tracy Renee, Tawanda Chloe, Trina Yvette, and Tamar Estine. They all grew up in a home where religion was a big deal, and Toni's first taste of performing was in the church choir. She started off studying at Bowie State University, aiming to become a teacher. But fate had other plans for her. One day, while she was filling up her car with gas, a man named William E. Pettaway Jr. overheard her singing. He was so impressed that he approached her, saying he wanted to help her make music. Toni, though hesitant at first, decided to take a chance on this unexpected opportunity. Toni and her sisters, Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, and Tamar, formed a group called the Braxtons in the late 1980s. They caught the eye of Arista Records, who signed them in 1989. Their first single, Good Life, didn't make a big splash, but it caught the attention of 2 big names in the music industry, Antonio L.A. Reid and Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Reid and Babyface were impressed by Toni's talent and invited her to record a demo of a song they had written for another artist. That artist couldn't record it, so they suggested Toni give it a shot, and she did. That song, Love Shoulda Brought You Home, ended up on the soundtrack of a popular movie called Boomerang, starring Eddie Murphy. In July 1993, Toni released her first solo album, simply titled Toni Braxton. Produced by Reid, Babyface, and Daryl Simmons, it soared to #1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart. The album was a hit not only in the U.S., but also in other parts of the world like Australia, Canada, and the UK. The first single from the album, Another Sad Love Song, climbed to #7 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. But it was the second single, Breathe Again, that really stole the show, reaching the top 5 on both the Hot 100 and R&B singles charts in the US and hitting #2 in the UK. Toni kept the hits coming with more singles like You Mean the World to Me, 7 Whole Days, and I Belong to You, How Many Ways. Her debut album didn't just win over fans, it also won Toni several prestigious awards, including 3 Grammy Awards and multiple American Music Awards. With its massive success, Toni Braxton went on to achieve platinum status 8 times over in the US alone, and its global sales soared past the 10 million mark. Toni Braxton's journey from a small town in Maryland to international stardom is a testament to her talent, perseverance, and willingness to take a chance on herself. And with her soulful voice and heartfelt lyrics, she continues to captivate audiences around the world, proving that sometimes all it takes is one person to believe in you for your dreams to take flight. Toni has also faced her fair share of challenges during her career, with one of the most trying moments being her bankruptcy filing. Toni has had her share of struggles despite her immense success. One of her toughest moments was when she had to declare bankruptcy. Even though she had sold records worth over $170 million by 1998, Toni found herself in a financial crisis. In a 2012 interview with ABC News, she revealed that falling sick right after renewing contracts with vendors for her Vegas show left her unable to work and pay them back. It's puzzling how someone as successful as Toni, who sold over 70 million records globally, could end up bankrupt not once, but twice in a short span. The root of her financial woes lay in a lopsided record contract that left her with meager earnings, alongside significant health issues. Fans were shocked when Toni filed for bankruptcy in January 1998. Just 2 years earlier, she had released the mega-hit Unbreak My Heart, which sold over 5 million copies and earned her a Grammy. Her second album, Secrets, sold over 6 million copies in the US alone and 3 million worldwide.
B-R-O-K-E broke?
Broke.
Like broke.
Like, no money.
No money. Like net worth what?
Negative.
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 Court documents revealed that Toni's music had generated over $170 million in sales, yet she earned a mere fraction of that. She disclosed in an interview that despite selling over 40 million records, her royalties were less than $2,000. This is because artists only get a small percentage of the album sales, often just a few cents on the dollar, and they have to repay millions to the record label for production and promotion costs. Toni's troubles worsened when she realized she was only getting 33 cents per album sold, far from what she deserved for her hard work. Despite being one of the top artists at Arista La Face, the label refused to renegotiate her contract for better terms, including higher royalties and advances. With no support from the label and mounting financial pressure, Toni felt she had no choice but to declare bankruptcy. As more details emerged about Toni's contract issues, it became clear that her label wasn't prioritizing her interests. Without a fair deal and the financial support she needed, Toni's success didn't translate into personal wealth. Despite her talent and hard work, she found herself in a dire financial situation. In an interview with Black Enterprise, Toni touched on the subject, saying, "After TLC talked publicly about their bankruptcy, the label prohibited other layface artists to talk, but now I can. I sold more than 40 million records, yet my royalties were less than $2,000. People don't understand that this issue went all the way to Congress about bankruptcy. All contracts are null and void except for a recording artist. Can you believe it? But the industry has changed now." She also addressed claims that she had bad spending habits, which many believed was the real reason she found herself in a bad financial state. To that, she said, "People were reporting things like I bought Gucci flatware. Yes, I treated myself, and it was only $500. If I bought 1,000 count sheets, they were from TJ Maxx for about $49, so I wasn't living extravagantly. Yes, of course I spent money, but when you consider that an artist makes 4 to 7 cents on the dollar for every album sold, and they have to pay back $20 million to the label for all the money that was spent to create, promote, and sell that album, then, yeah, chances are you'll end up in a whole lot of debt." The situation was dire. During an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Toni Braxton revealed the harsh reality that despite selling nearly 30 million records, she had received a shockingly meager royalty check of $1,172 from her album sales. She had been subsisting on advances from her label and income from touring. To make ends meet, Braxton had to part with her assets, including her property, clothing, jewelry, a baby grand piano, and cars. She even resorted to auctioning off her cherished Grammy awards. Alongside the financial strain, she grappled with feelings of embarrassment and uncertainty about her future as a signed artist.
B-R-O-K-E broke?
Broke.
Like broke.
Like, no money.
No money. Like net worth what?
Negative.
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 Following her bankruptcy and the legal battles with her label, Toni Braxton opted for a new direction. However, her fans supported her throughout her brutal journey. One fan wrote, "Toni sold over 8 million copies of her first 2 albums. She should be able to buy a Gucci flatware. It was a bad deal with too many labels she was signed to. People shouldn't make it seem like she spent money that she never had." Another one added, "Regardless of what people think of her financially, it was extremely smart to file bankruptcy twice. People that don't understand it should educate themselves on it. She gets to keep her millions and potentially walk away from the debt." She channeled her talents towards Broadway and became a part of the cast of Disney's Beauty and the Beast in 1998. This decision offered her a more stable source of income. Simultaneously, she returned to the recording studio and released her third album titled The Heat, which once again soared to the top of the chart. This album produced 2 hit singles and paved the way for another successful tour, allowing her to both promote her music and reconnect with her devoted fan base. In April 2003, Braxton abruptly left Arista Records, having been there for 14 years, and immediately signed with Blackground Records, headed by Barry Hankerson, her manager at the time. She then starred in Ada as Ada beginning June 30th, 2003, when she replaced actress Simone, until she left the cast on November 16th, 2003. In April 2005, Braxton's new label, Blackground Universal, released Please, the first single from her 5th album, Libra. The album was originally planned for a June release, but it was pushed back several times and was finally issued on September 27th. Libra peaked at number 4 on the US Billboard 200, selling 114,593 copies in the first week, and peaked at number 2 on the top R&B hip-hop albums. The album was certified gold in late 2005 and has since sold 679,000 copies worldwide. In May 2005, Braxton made an appearance on the season finale of American Idol 5, where she performed Elvis Presley's In the Ghetto with soon-to-be winner Taylor Hicks. A month later, The Time of Our Lives, a duet with classical crossover vocal group Il Divo, was released as a single, serving as the official 2006 FIFA World Cup anthem. Braxton performed the song, which entered the top 10 in Switzerland, at the opening ceremony in Berlin on June 9, 2005. In August 2006, Braxton replaced singer Wayne Newton as the Flamingo Las Vegas's new headlining act. The show, entitled Toni Braxton Revealed, was to be performed 6 nights a week and was scheduled to run through to March 2007. Braxton later confirmed that she was extending her show through to August 2007. Due to its success, it was reported that Braxton would extend her show through to August 2008, though the show was later canceled in order for Braxton to focus on her health after being diagnosed with microvascular angina. On January 12, 2007, Braxton filed a $10 million lawsuit against her former manager Barry Hankerson, alleging fraud, deception, and double dealing, in addition to mismanaging her relationship with Arista Records. According to Braxton's lawsuit, Hankerson placed his personal financial interests ahead of hers by using double talk to compromise the relationship between Braxton and her former label, with Hankerson allegedly telling Arista that Braxton no longer wanted to record for Arista, and telling Braxton that Arista was not interested in working with her anymore. The suit was settled with Braxton being forced to return a $375,000 advance to Hankerson, who would also receive a percentage of the sales of her next album, and Hankerson releasing Braxton from her contract with him. The settlement also temporarily limited the companies with which Braxton could sign. Hankerson claimed that the problems initially arose due to a number of disputes with Braxton and her wish to include her husband in her music. Braxton has been through a lot with her health. She has a serious illness called systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, or lupus for short. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, which means her immune system, which should protect her body, mistakenly attacks her own tissues and organs. This causes pain and damage in many parts of her body. When Toni Braxton was diagnosed with lupus, she faced a lot of pressure from the music industry to keep it a secret. The music business is all about selling an image of perfection and strength. People who run the industry think that if fans see a star as sick or weak, they won't buy their music or go to their concerts. So, they pushed Toni to act like everything was fine, even when she was feeling very sick. This was very hard for Toni. Lupus made her very tired and caused a lot of pain, but she had to pretend she was okay. She had to keep performing, doing interviews, and making appearances. The stress of hiding her illness made her feel even worse. The entertainment industry often expects stars to be perfect. They should always look good, be in a good mood, and perform well, no matter what. This can be very hard on artists. When stars are sick or going through tough times, the pressure to hide their struggles can make things even worse. For Toni Braxton, pretending to be healthy was exhausting. She needed to rest and take care of herself, but the industry demanded she keep working. This focus on being perfect and strong all the time can harm artists' health and well-being. It can make them feel alone and scared to show their true selves. Because of her lupus, Toni Braxton thought about retiring from music many times. She talked about it openly, sharing how hard it was to keep going. Balancing her career with her illness was tough. The constant pain and tiredness made it difficult for her to perform and keep up with her busy schedule. But Toni loves music. Singing and performing are her passions. Even when she felt like giving up, her love for music kept her going. She found ways to manage her illness and still do what she loves. This took a lot of strength and determination. Managing a career in music is hard enough on its own. For Toni Braxton, dealing with lupus on top of that was even harder. The illness affected her physically and emotionally. She had to deal with pain, fatigue, and the side effects of her medications. At the same time, she felt pressure to keep her illness hidden and continue working as if nothing was wrong. This double burden was very challenging. It affected her mental health too. Sometimes she felt very alone and overwhelmed. But despite all these challenges, Toni showed incredible resilience. She kept fighting and found ways to cope with her illness while pursuing her career. Toni Braxton's story is one of strength and resilience. Despite her illness and the pressure to hide it, she continued to perform and make music. She spoke out about her struggles, helping others understand what it's like to live with lupus. Her honesty has inspired many people who also live with chronic illnesses. Toni's determination to keep going, despite the obstacles, shows how powerful the human spirit can be. She has become a symbol of hope and strength for many fans around the world. Her journey reminds us that it's okay to be imperfect and to struggle. What matters most is how we face those struggles and keep moving forward. Braxton met musician Carrie Lewis when his group, Mint Condition, opened for her on tour. They married on April 21, 2001. In December 2001, she gave birth to their first child, a son named Denham Cole Braxton Lewis. In 2002, while gearing up for the release of her fourth studio album, Braxton discovered she was pregnant with her second child. The complicated pregnancy confined her to bed rest. The couple's second son, Diesel Kai Braxton Lewis, was born in March 2003. As Diesel has been diagnosed with autism, Braxton has become involved with Autism Speaks, serving as their international spokesperson. In November 2009, Braxton announced that she and her husband had separated. The couple later divorced in July 2013.
And we were attempting to salvage the relationship again. And we dated for a good year and a half, almost 2 years after we got a divorce, like immediately.
In her early 30s, Braxton had an abortion after discovering she was pregnant by then-boyfriend Carrie Lewis. In her memoir, Unbreak My Heart, Braxton discusses her abortion and guilt, saying that her son Diesel's autism was God's payback. In an October 2006 concert at the Flamingo, Las Vegas, Braxton broke down in tears while announcing to the audience that just before the concert began, she had been told that her son, Diesel, had been diagnosed with autism. Braxton has been outspoken regarding her doctor's failure to diagnose Diesel's condition earlier, contending that if he had been diagnosed earlier, he could have received treatment earlier. As well as becoming a spokeswoman for Autism Speaks, she is also a spokeswoman for the American Heart Association. On July 8, 2015, Braxton's attorney, Antavius Weems, announced that Braxton had settled her contentious child support case with her former husband, Carrie Lewis. On June 2, 2016, the city and county officials of Atlanta, Georgia, named June 2nd as Toni Braxton Day. Braxton began dating rapper Birdman in May 2016, and the couple announced their engagement in February 2018. In January 2019, the couple called off the engagement. However, in April 2019, both Braxton and Birdman confirmed that they were still together. But since at least 2022, Braxton has made several television appearances where she has declared herself single and on the dating scene, which indicates that her relationship with Birdman has ceased. Toni Braxton's illustrious career has been marked by significant industry pressures and publicized feuds, reflecting the often challenging nature of the music business. Despite her immense talent and success, she faced relentless demands and disputes that tested her resilience. Her battle with lupus further complicated her journey, nearly forcing her to abandon her passion for music. Yet Braxton's unwavering determination and strength have kept her in the spotlight, showcasing her ability to overcome adversity. Toni Braxton's journey teaches us that sometimes life throws us curveballs, but even when things get tough, There are always other paths to explore. Toni might not be making music anymore, but her legacy will continue to inspire us all.